Strings of street lights, even stoplights, blinking bright red and green as the shoppers rush home with their treasures. Okay, that's enough singing for now, but hey guys, did I get you into the Christmas mood?
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful, man.
Thank you very much. Hey, we have on our panel today, because we're going to talk about Christmas, because it's feeling a lot like Christmas. We have with us Dr. Andrew Blackwood, psychotherapist, life coach. Also from HDTV is Paul Lafrance. And also joining us on Under Construction, good to have Sathiya Sam here from Deep Clean Soul. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Thanks.
Okay, so we think about Christmas. A lot of stress. Women out there getting those gifts, making sure everything is great.
What like how we said women out there. Automatic women out there. Women are all out there getting presents.
Yeah, and we just sit at home waiting for all to happen. So, Andrew, are you one of those guys that goes out on Christmas Eve and, you know, everything's been picked over in the mall and you're trying to find that perfect Christmas gift?
No. And it's not because I'm the most organized person who does their shopping way in advance. That's not me either. I rarely buy Christmas gifts. I rarely do. I rarely do. When I was about 16, I probably had one of my first breakdowns. And I was so torn because I didn't have any money to buy gifts for my family members. And they really comforted me and told me that, Andrew, we know you love us. You don't have to buy us anything. Wow. And that changed my whole view on buying gifts at Christmas.
So you're like, I'm good. I never need to get anyone.
Right, I don't, right? It saves me a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? It saves me a lot
How's your wife with that?
Well,
We're going to hear the rest of this story. Go on.
we're of similar minds, right? So when it comes to kids, sometimes we do that, but we really focus more on the things that kind of matter more to us. And I know, you know, Dr. Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages, I think that, you know, speaks to a lot of people. Some people buy gifts because that's their language. We like spending time with people. I like eating food. So that's kind of where my energy goes at Christmas. Where are we going for Christmas? We have a family from our church come over. We have like a 3-day sleepover. Like, it's about the time, it's about fun, so that's what it's about for me. That's why you won't find me out on Christmas Eve or even on Boxing Day, because I don't like the stress of it.
Oh, Boxing Day.
I just bypass it all.
Well, and I'm thinking, you know, guys got an advantage now with Amazon, next delivery, but you got to do it on the 23rd, so you got to think at least one day in advance. So, Paul, how about you? How have you been able to maybe de-stress Christmas? Or, I mean, you got 4 teenage daughters that are probably looking for, you know, the latest fashions.
Well, I think it's important to give us a small backstory where very similar incident when I was young, but not as positive as yours. For me, it was a bit of a scarring moment where, let's just say that a close member in the family was given a present that was clearly bought that night before as like the last thing out the door, and like, here you go. And I remember seeing the look on this person's face and being like, that will never be me. So I ended up developing these issues. Like, I would have an anxiety attack like every Christmas because I would either get nothing, or I have to buy, like, I have to build something grand, like, you know, create a fountain in the front yard or something extreme, but I could never find a balance in the middle. And so my wife has really helped me with this, because gift giving is like her love language, and I'm terrible at it. So she's kind of been trying to teach me how to find the balance in the middle. But when you've got the teenage girls thrown into that mix, I have a very different approach with them, because I would rather them know that pretty much most of the gift-giving thing is something I would just like to set fire to, as far as the materialistic crap that is Christmas, that it's become. I have just zero interest in them becoming a part of that. So there's some things that we've done as a family, mostly the brainchilds of my wife. Brainchilds? I don't even know if that's brainchildren. Yeah. She's come up with some great ideas for Christmas. My wife's come up with ideas that have really changed how we approach Christmas, and that make it real and make it authentic. And we've even done things on Christmas as a family where we've gone and built something for a kid in a third world nation, just to kind of break out of this materialistic thing that we just become so accustomed to.
Yeah, we're bombarded. Sathiya, you're newly married, so you're going to have your very first Christmas with your bride.
Yeah.
And you can set it as you will. What I found though, and I remember the first Christmas with my wife Arlene, we've been married now more than 35 years, is I got her a gift. I won't say what it is, but she didn't like it and she never wore it again. I did learn. But so how are you approaching this? Because you'll come from a different tradition, I'm sure, in the way, you know, you're raised in Canada, your wife is Jamaican background, so there's going to be some nuances in there.
Big time. Well, I'm actually just gleaning, hearing these guys, what they do. It's really cool. My family's not a huge gift-giving family either. Like, we certainly do gifts, but it's nothing major. But like most things in a relationship, I'm just learning how to manage the expectations and how to meet the expectations of my wife. And that surfaces for, you know, birthdays and anniversaries and whatever else. So I think I'm probably just going to be learning this Christmas. But yeah, we're certainly going to have to figure out our traditions and everything else.
We're all still learning when it comes to this.
Okay, Sathiya, I'm going to go with you guys. We don't have a lot of time, but best Christmas memory?
This is, I don't know if it's my best, but it's my most memorable, mostly because my family never lets me forget it. But I was just a bit of an obscure kid, so I would just sing random songs, and I had a lot of terms that didn't make sense. They made sense to me, but they didn't make sense to anyone else. I was that kid.
Random songs?
Yeah, I would just kind of break out into random songs using words that made no sense.
Okay.
So there's a video of me getting like a Tonka truck, and I just sing this random song about like my Tonka truck. I don't even remember exactly what it was, but my family does not let me live it down. They constantly bring out that song, and we watch the video occasionally. So that would be the most remembered, maybe not the most memorable, but the most remembered Christmas for me growing up.
Paul?
That's hands down taking the 4 girls to San Jose in Costa Rica to spend Christmas morning. Like literally building a bedroom for this young boy who was living in a house with his mom and 17 sisters and cousins, all girls. He was the only boy. He was sleeping in a bed with his mother and his brother, and he was like right at the age where he would be drawn into the drug trade. And we went down, and my girls worked with me with this young kid Julio to build him a bedroom, but using material that I wasn't used to use, like stuff that's twisted in the whole deal. And my girls were working with me. It was a mess, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
The greatest part about that was the fact that I was told by a very close personal friend, don't expect your girls to remember this now and have the impact you want it to have on them now. And that really, I remembered that. And I was so glad that he had said this to me. If you expect them to come back into the world that you know and that they're going to remember this, don't expect it. It'll be later. It'll be later down the road when they have kids. They're going to remember just being completely out of the environment where it's all about me and it's just that kind of like, what am I going to get? And but that was precious. Just I'll never forget that.
And you know, you'll give them gifts and they will forget.
That's right.
For a year later, but they
I
will
can forget
never.
that kid's face.
No, oh, that's amazing. Andrew?
Well, life just keeps getting better and better, so the most recent Christmas was probably my favorite.
Because you have young children.
Young children and getting the house filled with people and cooking. I like the aspect of people enjoying the food that I cook more than I actually enjoy cooking. So that's part of the joy for Christmas for me, especially in that last year. I made a whole bunch of things and people loved it, and it was a good time.
Okay, it's Christmas and this is a Christian program, so we should talk about the reason for the season. And Paul said if I said that he would leave, but he's still here. Jesus is the reason for the season. But Andrew, how do we go from all this materialism and the commercials and you know, being bombarded with this get thing, and keeping it focused upon what really is the reason for the season is Jesus?
You know, one of the things that our church does, we have a Christmas Eve service, and it is an unusual service for us, but it's so quiet, it is so serene, we sing a number of the hymns and Christmas carols. It's really just hearing the gospel in its simplest form and seeing kids act out, you know, the nativity scene. And so it sounds typical and cliche, but I think going to church is really a good thing to do, and especially for me, because one of my desires is to live the gospel every day. And so for me, Christmas honestly is just another day, but going to church on Christmas Eve makes it special for me.
Paul?
How to bring Jesus in is the question, right? And so, what is Jesus? He is the manifestation of outward love, of selfless love, where it is about you and your value and your worth. That's what we get. That's what we feel. That's what we're talking about sonship, and as men, that's what we feel. That's the universal element of who Jesus is. And so when we give a gift in our house, the person that you're giving it to, you're giving them a gift, and you're also speaking over that person. So you have to spend time thinking about who is this person, what is who is their identity in him, who do you see, how have they impacted you, and so it's this basic and it can be awkward for people, particularly when she manipulates an entire army of people to do this. And they're all just like, we don't want to do this. This is so uncomfortable. Every time it's done, at the end of it, people are in tears.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Christmas has a much different feel because people have been allowed to express love in a form that had somebody administrative had set up, right? So it just changes the whole Christmas gift giving thing when it's tied into, you are going to be speaking life into somebody. And knowing that person, and then the person who gets spoken over, then it's their turn, right? So it's good. I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything. It's so good.
Sathiya, how do we keep from something that happens every year from just becoming routine? I think these guys have given some good illustrations here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, my background, Greg, is I help guys get free of pornography. And statistically speaking, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's are the least popular days to watch porn. And I don't think it's a coincidence. And one of the things I extract from that stat is I think when you are around friends, family, you're having fun, and there's a focus, I think that can do wonders for the human heart. And so I think one of the things that for me keeps me grounded in Christmas or any holiday like it is just that focus, just having a focus of I'm going to spend time with my family, and I'm actually going to spend time with them. I'm going to put my phone away, or I'm going to do whatever it might be. Having that intentional focus, I think, makes a world of difference. And it kind of combats the materialism. The materialism kind of says, I don't have enough, I need more. And I think having that focus, having that full heart says, I have enough. Everything that I have here is exactly what I need in this moment, and it's enough for me. So I think to me that's the huge value of Christmas.
Well, thanks, guys, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.